So we're going to get started today and really dive right in and talk to you about what is an industry event. So you have a really good understanding of what we're talking about, how we're going forward, especially with our new rollout of our Chapter to Network project. And these are great, we're going to give you some great examples and ideas today, but let's first dive in and talk about industry events and network programs and what that means for you at your network. So industry events are really bigger than your network. They should really attract a wide variety of audience from across your industry, well beyond your membership. And these events are to deliver value that your real estate community really needs in your market. So the industry events are going to require extensive planning. How this works is with the new network programming that we're moving towards, there's a minimum of 6 programs a year. 4 of those are going to be industry events, and we're asking for you to do 1 industry event per quarter, and that's really going to be a strong offering because these take a lot of work to put on. The content of an effective industry event is definitely going to be timely and issue-oriented and highly relevant to the industry and the people in your community. The industry events are going to provide professional and personal development and help your members generate more business and more income. So definitely want to think about it being income generating. One of the 4 industry events must focus on the development of business leadership skills. So that's not just being a leader and volunteering within the network or the local association, but that's being a business leader within your business. So as long as it covers those areas, you're doing fantastic. Another one of the 4 industry events must be a collaborative effort. So you really want to engage other local networks in your area, your local association, or other related real estate organizations. And we'll go over that a little more in detail. The other
Great job.
Thanks.
So
the other two programs, I'm going to switch it to Brenda, and she's going to tell you about the other 2 programs. Sorry, Brenda.
That's all right. So now let's think about network programs. As Heather mentioned, there are to be 4 industry events, but there are to be a total of 6 events per year. So the network programs, there will be 2 of those, a minimum of 2 additional programs. They could be member only, mastermind groups, lunch and learns, things like that. The other 2 programs should focus on member networking and relationship building. These may also include personal and professional development content, but may be limited to members only, which is the bonus for your membership. And again, some examples of these types of programs include the mastermind group, the lunch and learn events, topical roundtables, things such as that. Of course, fundraisers and social events that facilitate relationship building also meet the programming requirements for that category. Let's go to the next slide. Let's talk about industry events best practices. Okay, we have format, pricing, events, online platforms, and target marketing. So planning an industry event may actually be new for some of our local networks. So let's break it down. Industry events typically will be a paid ticketed event, bringing in revenue to support the council. So plan for tiered pricing. An example, your members and strategic partners may pay the lowest rate with the middle rate for the non-member realtor and then the highest rate reserved for the public. What we need you to do is run these industry events like you would run a business. Offer early bird rates to generate interest. Require advanced credit card payments and set a cancellation refund policy, and then of course stick to it. Use a low-cost event management tool to help implement programs such as Eventbrite or Square. These will help you facilitate professionally run events and minimize volunteer time on logistics, which is a good thing. Also, consider the larger network strategy in your programming. Big picture thinking. Are you looking to grow your membership? Merge with nearby networks? Or would you like to see more diversity within the network? Industry events can help support these goals. Also look for opportunities for collaboration based on program objectives. Consider the topics and the groups outside your membership that will be most interested. Target the members of those groups or collaborate with the organization to plan and implement the event. Heather, can you elaborate on collaboration with the other organizations?
Sure can. So there's so many great industries out there to collaborate with. And nationally, Women's Council is really working on reaching out to other industries and groups to collaborate, strengthen ties, and support mutual interests. This is really an important opportunity at your local network level. One group, for example, is YPN, otherwise known as the Young Professional Networks. Nationally, 16% of council members identify themselves as YPN. And on average, Women's Council members are 4 years younger than the typical realtor. There's really so much opportunity to foster leadership skills in young professionals at the network level and beyond. So Women's Council is the right group to take the lead and collaborate with YPN locally. Women's Council is also focused on ethnic minorities in the industry. We want to work with different groups like the Hispanic Real Estate Professional Organization, and we also have the Asian American Real Estate Professionals. Look at them. They're great groups to collaborate with. You can get information on great culture, diversity, and what's happening within their networks that they have. So one of the most popular designations within Women's Council is CRS, otherwise known as Certified Residential Specialist. Did you know that 31% of our members actually hold this designation? This is a great place to cross-collaborate and give opportunity and work with the local CRSs within your area and get them to work with you on a program. And for those of you who belong to one of these groups, look for ways at the local, state, and regional level. You can join forces that way. We don't want to really operate in silos anymore. These groups like to collaborate, we want to collaborate, and we're really not their competitors. And as always, make it a win-win for everybody, particularly in the program area. And of course, we don't want to forget your local and or state association of realtors. They're a great partner. You want to work well with your local association especially and have a great relationship with them. They help you. They encourage their local members to get involved at Women's Council because they see the benefits that the leadership and training that Women's Council members get and how that can happen at their local association and state as well. Brenda?
You're right, Heather. Communication and collaboration is the key. All right, so we touched on industry event best practices. Let's take a look at network program best practices. You see what the program focus would be: exclusive member only, emphasis on networking, of course. There could be social events, member recruitment. Know this, over time, National will build a library of successful best practice industry events for you. Now, for the 2 additional network programs, there are already some great resources to help with program ideas and implementation. These are the types of programs that local councils have excelled at for many years. Many are already member only with a strong emphasis on business networking. So sometimes local council programming can get in a rut with the same programs offered year after year. So if your network is looking for some fresh ideas, check out the Winning Program Ideas and Planning Guide, which is on the WCR website. Go to Network Tools and click on Programs. Best practice pricing is thought about to make these programs available to your members and strategic partners at no cost. That's the idea. But if you choose to invite non-members, you may decide to charge a small fee, or at least use it as an opportunity to promote membership. Heather?
Okay, let's look at some examples of what some networks across the nation have done for their industry events. So this is a great one. This was an example. The network was Long Beach, and they put on high touch and high equals high ROI with Lee Brown. So they paid for a speaker to come in. They also did a top producer panel, and they had that moderated by Sarah Sudachan with the California Association of Realtors. And so they involved their state association, someone from there, and they talked to two professionals about the businesses they run. So it was a combined professional speaker as well as a top producer panel. One of the things you're definitely going to notice with that program is that they had a standard registration fee. That was for their members. It was $25. What a great deal for their members and their strategic partners. That's what they got charged. Non-member realtors were charged $45, and non-strategic partner affiliates and the public were charged $65. So a great example of tiered pricing. So let's look at our next slide. The next one is really about recruitment and retention. And this was a great job. This is where they turned around and did a networking event and did a membership pep rally. They really came out and worked on getting their people involved. It was $10 a person across the board. They included entry, provided a slice of pizza and a beverage, and they wanted to get people more informed about what's happening within their local network. So they got the word out. At this event, this network signed on 10 new members just by having this great event. So that's a great recruitment idea that also was a networking program. The next one, let's look at that. So this was a great example of involving state and panels. So here, this network put on a great event about technology and data sharing. They had the CEO, Joel Singer, of the California Association of Realtors come in, and they had someone from Realtor.com, Zillow, and a large MLS system. In putting on this industry event, they partnered as well with their local association, PWR. And with that, it was approximately a 2.5-hour programming. They had a half an hour of networking to start off. There was really minimal formal introductions, which is one of the things you want to think about when you're putting on these industry events, because people are paying to come and hear the speakers, the panelists. They're not coming to hear a long list of every dignitary in the room and the list of all the past presidents and everything else. It's not that we don't love them and we don't honor them, but that's not what people are coming to hear. You can put those in other events, but at your industry events, you really want to focus on the program. That's what the industry, that's what other real estate community people are here to hear, as well as people that are coming from the public. So that was a great example. Brenda, why don't you give us some other award-winning examples for our group here?
Thank you, Heather. And that's the idea. What we have here is an award-winning industry event, okay? And as a reminder, you can find the award-winning events for 2014, 2015, and 2016 on the website. Again, go to Network Tools, click on, and you'll see you can click on the different programs, and it actually breaks it down by the different years. So what I have here is a program, an award-winning industry event put on by the Chicago, Illinois network. And the presentation style was designed as a sit-down luncheon with a moderator, and then they had guest panelists, and then ultimately they took Q&A or questions and answers from the audience. So the program description, it says the panelists shared their insights on how to effectively seek out and market new listings by providing tools and resources such as staging via virtual and live, as well as free MLS tools. They also discuss prospecting for professionals, leveraging your network, marketing smarter, creating a vision for consumers, and getting that deal closed. Ultimately, the idea was this program focused toward business growth and development. So it was designed to assist the realtors to grow their business on the listing side by providing them with effective marketing tools, lead resources, and overall how to acquire and market new listings. So that is a award-winning industry event. So let's go to the next slide, and let's take a look at an award-winning member-only event. Okay, so this program, or this award-winning program, was put on by the Middlesex County Network in New Jersey. So what they did is their presentation style was a single speaker. Everybody was sitting down at tables, and of course the speaker made the presentation, and then they opened the floor up for questions and answers. So as it relates to the program description, they went over all the Google suite of apps, from mailing to marketing, from chatting to social media postings. So know that Google is free and accessible from anywhere. The speaker was Anna Monroy, and she led the class on how to use Google in the real estate industry. And this particular members-only event focused on business development and technology.
So another award-winning program was put on by another local network, and that was Great Northwest in Texas. And the presentation style was a speaker luncheon. They did a program that with representatives from the Houston Association of Realtors, from Women's Council of Realtors, and the Greater Houston Builders Association. And each spoke about leadership in their respective organizations. They discussed ways to get involved, shared marketing tips and technology that are free to realtors as member benefits, and the speakers informed attendees on ways to incorporate association benefits into their business plans. So this program covered business development. So it was another great award-winning program that is a great example of collaboration, not just with one group, but two groups. So love this one. Another program that was put on by one of our networks, this was a networking opportunity with a splash of technology. This was free to members. So this was a great networking opportunity, providing something free to your members and the strategic partners. However, they did invite non-members, and they were charged $35. A local member talked about apps and as well shared some great tips, and as well they had a great time with a mixer. So great opportunity to really change it up and do it a little differently than we've been doing it before.
Great job. So these are all excellent examples of industry events and network programming. So now let's focus on member communication, marketing, and getting the word out. Heather?
So as we all know, the best program can maybe not be successful without a strong marketing effort. So keep these basics in mind for both industry event and the networking opportunity events that we're talking about. You always want to start by clearly defining who your audience is going to be and the goal of your program. This will really help create that strong marketing plan you're looking for. Obviously, you want to use all the tools that are available to you and target your audience when you're doing so. So keep that in mind while you're doing that. And if the topic is geared towards a certain type of audience, then obviously try and focus on that. And don't forget, social media marketing is key nowadays. People really look towards that to see things. National is great at providing simple and professionally designed templates that you can customize with your program information. And you can use your contact management platforms such as MailChimp and create eye-catching emails. So Constant Contact and MailChimp are great programs to use. And obviously if you're collaborating with the other groups, work with them, help them get the word out. Offer to add the list to your MailChimp or Constant Contact. Great way to get an extra piece into your database. And always work and look towards your local realtor association and collaborate on marketing with them, even though it may not be a collaborated event. But hey, if they're willing to put it in their monthly newsletter, put a blast out for you about an upcoming event, why not use that? And when you're offering discounted non-member when you're offering discounted pricing to non-member realtors, you're providing a value to them as well. So if their realtor members are coming and you're giving them a bit of a non-member discount, think of that as well. And obviously for your big industry events, look to work with the local industry and business media to help promote that event. And obviously, as we know, we have our local network websites. And when you add your program and industry events to that website, it gets automatically posted to the national website so people can see what's happening in your marketplace. Brenda, how about some other communication?
We do have to talk about communication because you were very, very articulate as it relates to how to get it out there, but often having a path is very, very helpful. So regular communications with your members help to reinforce the value of membership. It also supports your marketing and member retention efforts. So we know we have to get the word out. What does the communication timeline look like? So for events, get your message out early. Begin your promotion at least 60 days in advance. Yes, 60 days in advance. Then you're going to follow up with messaging 30 days out, and then 2 weeks before the event, and then ultimately a reminder the day before the event. Know that editable templates are available for download under Network Tools. That's going to be a place you're going to be hanging out at. So on a side note, beyond the specific event marketing, Women's Council encourages local networks to adhere to the DRIP method for member communication. Sending messages on a regular, periodic basis all throughout the year is a great idea. National provides information and key messages that can be branded for local distribution to make it easy on you. Know that your communication strategy does not end with members. Develop and implement a strategy to establish and reinforce, as well as maintain, a positive, productive relationship with your local association of realtors. You can download external messages in the Marketing Action Kit under the Marketing and Communications section of Network Tools. Heather?
So let's just do a little bit of takeaway and wrap up the day. Obviously, we covered what the difference is between an industry event and networking program. And one of the key things to remember here is a minimum of 6 programs per year. 4 must be a minimum of the industry events and a minimum of 2 programming opportunity, networking programming opportunities. Remember, that's a minimum. We definitely want quality over quantity. However, if you want to go bigger, go big. That's fantastic. We're not stopping you from doing it. We just have some minimum operating standards that we've covered. Brenda, talk to a little bit about best practices.
Well, we talked about the best practices and things that we need to stay focused on and make sure that we get things rolling correctly. So as it relates to best practices with an industry event, I am getting to my page here. Remember that you want to, there are different formats, okay? The tiered pricing is a very important part of it. Having it be a price for your early bird possibly works into play, member pricing, non-member pricing, and then ultimately the higher would be for the public or non-strategic partners. Using online platforms and tools are very, very helpful. And of course, don't forget about targeting your market. And then ultimately, as we speak to the to the network programs, we reference the fact that you should do things member only, no cost to the members. You can, of course, choose to invite non-members, but that would be up to you, and then there's probably a small fee that would be connected with that. And then, of course, always refer back to the WCR website. Go to Network Tools. Look under there for any programming ideas that you may be interested in to get you out of that programming rut. Heather?
And we covered industry collaboration, the importance of working with other real estate industries, your local association, and your state association. With that, we provided some great examples of different industry events and networking opportunities and allow you to learn from those. Brenda, marketing?
Marketing, you referenced the opportunities to market with other organizations and, of course, using MailChimp and all that kind of good stuff. It's all very impressive and available to you. And of course, as we always say, if you need us, let us know. We'll get you through the process. But of course, the member communication timeline is helpful too. Trying to make things a little easier by putting things in a process, you'll find that you're going to get the job done and have very good results. Just going 60 days ahead of time, and then of course a reminder 30 days out, 2 weeks, send out another couple of email blasts, and then the day before send out that reminder. So that communication timeline is going to be a real helpful piece to the puzzle as well.
We really want to take the opportunity to thank you for your time to get on this webinar with us. Does anybody have any questions? They can pose them to our organizer, Olivia, and we are happy to answer those questions for you. You can type them into the chat area.
Hi there. I've had a couple of questions regarding the slides and this webinar. Yes, we are recording this event and we will be posting it online shortly. Feel free to follow up with us if you don't know where the location is, but most likely it will be under online events, and that would be online events, online education, and recorded events is probably where we'll put that. We'll also have more information in News You Can Use. So, that being said, let me see if there's any other questions at this time. With these events, are there any guidance, benefits, comments about the value of offering continuing education credits at the event, or should we avoid that entirely?
The industry events aren't really meant to be a continuing education type of event. They're, again, really meant to be out there for the entire community, even the public, and public isn't looking to necessarily take advantage of those type of things. So if you were doing some type of education CE credit event, you were looking more to push that towards your possibly networking programming or an additional type of program your network chooses to put on as a value.
Okay, great. At this point, I'm not seeing any other oh, hang on. Are there certain BRMs that new networks should focus on in the beginning?
So first off, we're really trying to work on getting rid of a lot of acronyms, and business resource meeting is a term that we're moving away from because people sort of don't understand it, whereas industry events they get and understand, and networking events. So is there a certain type that you want is again for us to focus on? Is that the question? Sorry, Olivia.
I think they wanted to know whether or not there's anything specific you would start with. Example, I was out in Ohio and they brought 75 people together at the Toledo network, and the idea was to talk about Women's Council of Realtors and the value and all that comes to the table with being a member of the council. And so I think that was their question. What would be something that you would start with?
That's right, Brenda Lee.
Yeah, that would be a great one to start with, and that wouldn't be considered an industry event. That would actually more be considered a networking event. So your industry events is really where you're trying to bring in that big paid speaker or large panel, something big and large. Again, as we talked about earlier, it's bigger than your network. Throughout the year, recruitment, retention, trying to get more people involved in understanding Women's Council, that really more falls into your network programming, networking opportunities, and that is a great way to kick off your year to get people excited about Women's Council and your local network.
Okay, great. And I am not seeing any other questions at this time.
Wonderful.
I'd like to say thanks to everybody that was on the call, and once again, if Heather or I can assist you in any way, shape, or form, feel free to reach out. We're available.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.